Why is it so hard to be authentic in the marketplace? You ever felt that? You ever asked yourself that question? Well, it's not your clarity that's throwing people off. People just aren't used to people being who they say they are. Today, we're going to talk about proving simplicity, getting people to trust who you say you are, here on the Kingdom Confidence Podcast. Welcome to the Kingdom Confidence Podcast. I am your host, Coach Jesse Cole. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you coming back and back again, and sharing the podcast. It is growing. We're getting private messages that it's helping people. And listen, that's all we can ask for. Of course, we want to increase our subscribers. We want to increase our reach, our reach and impact. We want that. We also want to make sure that people are being helped, that you are getting what you need to lead with authenticity and boldness in the marketplace. So thank you. Welcome back to the podcast. If you don't know who I am, this is your first time here. I'm Jesse Cole, your Kingdom Confidence coach. Kingdom Confidence is God's power, authority, and influence demonstrated through us with authenticity and boldness. And so my responsibility, my calling is to release kingdom confidence into the earth to help encourage and equip Christian entrepreneurs, Christian leaders to lead with authenticity and boldness. Like, that is what we do. We're proud of it. This is our calling. And quite frankly, our life's work. We love it. But today we're talking about proving simplicity. I'm not sure about you, but for some reason, as of late, when I mean as of late, I mean especially these last 2 years, been having to I've been feeling like I've had to prove my integrity. I have had to prove the simplicity of this messaging. And I asked God, why does it feel like people find it hard to embrace, to accept, to understand a message that's so simple? And what I'm hearing back, what I heard back from God through Holy Spirit, and what I hear back from my clients is that the marketplace is riddled with manipulation, which I knew. The marketplace is riddled with people who are not who they say they are, people who are using the Christian tag, the Christian banner, using these buzzwords like kingdom to get people in to their tribe, to their communities, their programs, to their business. But then when those people get into those houses, they see that the furniture doesn't match the exterior. The quality of furniture doesn't match what was sold to them. And they feel like they've been bamboozled, run amok, tricked, manipulated. And so it's because of that people like you and I, people who really want people to see the glory of God in their business in an authentic and bold way, sometimes we have a hard time convincing people that what this is real. And in the beginning, I spent a lot of time trying to convince people that what this is real, that it was born from an authentic place. And I got the battle scars to show it. And not saying that we're perfect, but not trying to manipulate and bamboozle people, really trying to walk with integrity in this authenticity. But then God began to show me that I don't have to try to prove this simplicity. I know this is talking about proving simplicity, but the fruit is what's going to actually show the people that what we have is real. So not proving the talent, not proving qualifications, but proving that something is as basic as I am exactly who I say I am. Yes, flawed. Sometimes we get it wrong, but we want to glorify God in this work. Like, that is something that I've thought I've had to prove, but I don't have to prove anymore. Why? Because Matthew 7:16, Jesus says that you will know them by their what? You'll recognize them by their fruit. And so what you produce, if people pay attention, what you produce is going to be all the proof that you need. There's a lot of deception out there. Whole lot of deception out there. Exaggeration is expected. We know that. People are being let down. a lot of hyperbole as far as, especially when it comes to marketing, especially when it comes through, like landing pages and websites and all these different things that people are using to get people into their funnel, get people into their community. A lot of lies, a lot of exaggeration. So when somebody like you show up, when somebody like you who has integrity and character and clarity and has a simple kingdom assignment, when you show up, people almost don't know how to receive it. They're looking for the deception because it's so prevalent. It's so normal. So even though you might say, like, this is what I do, this is who I serve, this is the lane that God gave me, you might be as clear as you can possibly be, and folks are going to respond with, oh, I heard what you said, but I wasn't actually expecting it to be true. That's why the marketplace needs people like you and I. Authenticity is often unfamiliar in a world where people are always trying to come at you with the angle. Authenticity feels unreal. It feels unfamiliar. It feels like another marketing scheme. So now, instead of you just showing up, now you got to prove your simplicity. That's where I was for a long time. Maybe the timing is off a little bit, but it's recent enough for me to know that it's recent, right? Where I feel like I didn't have to hide or that I was a gimmick, that there was not going to be a bait and switch, to prove that in a world, in a sea full of noise, that this message was clear, had a clear sound. You ever felt that before? But there is a revelation. There is a revelation I want to share with you. Your job is not to manage expectations. It's not. Your job is to master your assignment. Take a breath. When you try to meet everybody else's expectations, you drain the energy that you need to serve people who have an appetite for what you have. When you try to over-explain so that people get it, you complicate something that God made so simple. Woo. Some of the hardest times I've had on a sales call, or I call them share calls now. I don't call them sales calls, where I'm just sharing what we have, sharing the vision. Some of the hardest times I've had were with people who didn't trust what they saw, who didn't trust the results, who didn't trust the fruit, having to oversell, have to over complicate things in order for people to get it. And some of those same people were some of the same ones asking for concessions or trying to work out a deal or trying to ask for a discount. There ain't no discounts. There ain't no deals. It is what it is. And when in the beginning, when I would concede to their demands, those were the same people who didn't show up and who didn't do the work. But it was the ones who were hungry and thirsty and had an appetite for it, those were the ones who experienced the most growth. So the same ones that I would give extended grace to, make concessions for, were some of the same ones who didn't do the work, who didn't show up, who would always cancel meetings or always late. And so I'm like, you know what? We can't do this no more. I don't need to prove simplicity. I just need to live it. The fruit, I need to show consistently. I need to serve with clarity. I need to speak with honesty. and let the fruit do the talking. All right. So you are not responsible for managing other people's assumptions. I want to tell you that from experience. You're not responsible for that. If God gave you a simple message, present it how he told you to do it. Of course, over time, it's going to be more refined, but you don't have to use manipulation. You don't got to try to trick people. You don't got to overcomplicate it. You don't got to over-explain. Continue to show up. Continue to get better. Continue to be who God has called you to be in the marketplace. All right? Remember that what you want to become depends on your willingness to become it. Have a great day.